Our next problem is a matrix multiplication problem. We're given some matrices and we're asked to find A times B. Before we perform this operation, we need to make sure it's possible because it's not always possible to multiply two matrices. So it's important to look at the order of each of the matrices. Now the order of A is 3 by 2. The reason it's 3 by 2 is because A has a total of 3 rows across and 2 columns down. So it's a 3 by 2. Now B, on the other hand, is a square matrix and it's a 2 by 2. We have 2 rows going across and also 2 rows coming down. So in order to determine whether you can multiply two matrices, first of all, you have to put them in order. Since I'm multiplying A times B, I put the order of A first and the order of B second. If these two middle numbers in here match, in other words, if the number of columns in A is equal to the number of rows in B, these two numbers will match. If they match, then it's possible to multiply these two matrices, and the order of the new matrix will be a 3 by 2. So let's do that multiplication right now. Let's write out A, which is 3, 1, 1, 0, 2, 1, times B, which is 1, negative 1, 2, 1. And when we do this multiplication, we already decided that our new matrix will have the order 3 by 2. So we need to prepare for 3 rows and 2 columns. I'm going to make this a little bit large so we can do a little bit of work inside the matrix. Now, the way we multiply one matrix by another is we multiply a row by a column. So notice this first element. This first element is in row 1, column 1. So that tells me I need to multiply row 1 of the first matrix by column 1 of the second matrix, each corresponding element. So let's start and do that first. So we have 3 times 1, which is 3, plus, going across and down, I have 1 times 2, which is 2. Now, for my next entry, it's in row 2, but it's still in column 1. So I will take row 2 of matrix A times column 1 of matrix B. When I do that, I'll have 1 times 1 plus 0 times 2. 1 times 1 is 1 plus 0 times 2 is 0. Finally, I'm in the third row, so I multiply row 3 by column 1. Row 3 times column 1. And here I go. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 times 2 is 2. So I have a total of 2 plus 2. I'll simplify that in just a moment. Now I need to move over to my second column. In order to find the elements for this second column, I'm going to be multiplying, first of all, the first row by column 2, then the second row by column 2, and then the third row by column 2. So let's do that in that order. I have row 1, column 2. So 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 plus 1 times 1. So I have negative 3 plus 1. Now I have row 2, column 2. So I have 1 times negative 1 plus 0 times 1. That gives me negative 1 plus 0. And finally I have row 3, column 2. So I have 2 times negative 1, which is negative 2, plus 1 times 1. So I have negative 2 plus 1. And I'll write my final answer in blue. 3 plus 2 is 5. 1 plus 0 is 1. 2 plus 2 is 4. Negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. Negative 1 plus 0 is negative 1. And negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1.